Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Mindset Kitchen podcast. And honestly saying, this is the first episode of 2021. And first of all, I would like to welcome Kareem. Kareem, welcome back, bro.
Welcome back, bro. Happy New Year, everybody that's listening, and welcome back to Mindset Kitchen. We have a lot of amazing things planned for you guys for 2021. And yeah, it's good to be back. How's your break, bro?
Break was really good. Actually, I think the last episode when we did, I was traveling and I'm back in Dubai, ready for 2021. I think fully charged, fully planned. So yeah, what about you? Did you take a break as well? How was your, last week of December? How did it go?
Man, I can shamelessly say that 2020, I had like one of the longest breaks that I've had in a while, just because I pretty much didn't take any holidays like the whole year. So I ended the year with like, I think 2 weeks off or something. 2 weeks or maybe even like 2.5 weeks, something like that. I was just like, I need the time and it definitely paid off, man. So yeah, it was good.
Perfect. So I think we'll jump right into the topic or the stuff that we're discussing today. So, me and Kareem were actually thinking, what could be a good topic to actually start off. And we discussed and we were thinking, we will actually start where we left off with the last episode. So, many of you might have listened to the last episode. We discussed about how can we get ready for 2021. Okay. Now, so today, me and Kareem, we're just going to, follow up, and I want to check with Kareem, and I also want to tell you guys what I've actually planned and how we've actually planned or set goals for 2021. But specifically, there was one concept that we actually discussed about, or we mentioned, Kareem mentioned, and we had a very small sneak peek into, which was the 5 Fs. So I think that is more or less what we're going to focus in today's episode.
Yeah.
So Kareem, I'll let you get started, bro. So what are your, I don't want to call it resolutions anymore, because I think I promised myself that I will not call them resolutions anymore, because every year personally I set resolutions, New Year resolutions, and honestly, in a month or two it does not reach anywhere. So how's it different for you this year?
Man, I'm literally bringing it up on my computer right now. But basically, like in terms of in terms of this year, like there's a lot of things that I really wanted to do differently. And I think the general theme is for me to just take it a little bit easier this year on myself, and still maintain the same level of ambition, but basically to have to basically like take better care of my mental health, and at the same time use that as a way for me to get like more ambitious. And I'm literally trying to bring it up right now, but let's start with you while I just bring this up.
Well, bro, I went through it so many times, so it's right there in my mind. But anyways,
Go for it.
So for me, bro, I think after the episode, we did the last episode, I got really thinking, because if you remember, I had told you one of the reasons I traveled, one of my goals or outcomes that I wanted out of my 2-week break was I also wanted to actually put some solid plan for 2021. And this last 10 days or last 1 week was quite interesting for me. I can say I went on this, I don't want to make it too cliche, like a journey of self-discovery, or I did not do that. But
Eat, pray, love.
Yeah, but I had something in between, where what happened was, I remember, we discussed about the lead and lag measures, yeah? And we discussed about 5 Fs. And the day we recorded that podcast, I remember telling you in the episode that I was speaking to one of my clients as well, and I had recommended him, all the goals that he actually put for himself fell under more or less his 5 Fs. So I started thinking about it, and what I did was I wrote my goals for 2021. Yeah. Now, when I wrote, I think I was very much similar like you, every year when I start with so many stuff. Like I fill my notepad or my book. I have notes on my laptop with a lot of things that I want to achieve. But what happens most of the time is, I would not say I did not achieve a lot of stuff. I end up achieving other stuff which I never planned, because what I understood was, when I start planning, I'm not very clear on what exactly I need. I end up saying, okay, everything that I would like to have, I would just think of, okay, this should be my goal for 2020, for example. Yeah. But the difference with that was, this time, how I did it differently was, one, yes, I also decided that, for me, I wanted to name this year 2021. Okay. I thought I will call it Year of Foundations, for example, where I actually set some foundations. But that week, Year of Foundations, where I actually set some foundations of habits, of systems, of processes, which I can actually scale, from 2022 or 2023 onwards. But during that week, I end up listening to, some few TED Talks, some specific podcasts. And one of them I ended up listening to was the 5 Fs by Jamal King. Now, this was like, I remembered this because we discussed it in the podcast. And even though Jamal King, discusses this in a completely different, like he has his own idea of the 5 Fs. So what I did was, I actually took the 5 Fs for myself, which is faith, family, fitness, finance, and freedom. And I actually put for each category differently. What I did was, I just put like 1 or 2 lag measures, which is my big goals for 2021. Like, for example, when it came to faith, I put 2 goals or lag measures. For family, I kind of broke it down to, my family, individually, and I put 1 lag measure for each. And even for fitness, I put some lag measures. I put 3 lag measures. And even for finance, which is something very important that it would be one of the most important lag measures that I put for my year. And lastly, freedom. So what I did was, I have lag measures. Like, for example, I'll give you, like, for faith, for example, there was a theme. The theme is fix what's broken, for example. Yeah, if something is broken, spirituality wise, everybody might look at it. So there are some things I felt were broken, or some things I was not doing consistently, that I need to fix it and be more consistent. With family, it was more like, nurture what's already there. Like, for example, or, like nurture, like I have a particular level of relationship or some things that I already have with my parents, for example, with my kids. So I put some lag measures for each, for parents, for my wife, for my kids, 1 lag measure each. Then again, fitness, I had like 2 lag measures, and, I set those goals. Finance also 2. And at last it came to freedom. So what I did was, so usually where I stop, or I think this is what majority of the people where they get stuck is, everybody puts the lag measure. Now I will take the famous fitness of the 6-pack or the 5-pack. Okay. Now 2021, they started, and I'm sure there are hundreds and thousands of people. Okay. Maybe many of the people who are listening to our episode right now also might definitely have put a fitness goal, let's say, or let's say a finance goal. Now, the thing is, traditionally, what I would speak for myself is, I have the goal and I'm like, by 2021, November or December, I need to reach here. And every now and then, for example, what I do is, okay, I will keep looking at my goal. Okay, I'll do something about it. I am not really sure about how to go about it. But this time, what I did was specifically, now we've been speaking about lead, lag a lot. So for each of these lag measures, I put 1 lead.
Nice.
And like, for example, if it was my fitness, I had like 2 goals, like weekly X kilometers cycling and X number of like sessions in the gym. This is exactly my lead. So for every week, I have like 2 hours of cycling and 2 hours of gym. So that is like 4 days in a week.
And what's the lag for that?
Lag was basically, I need to reach, I kept the lag, I also took it a bit easier. I had to reach a particular state when it comes to cycling. Like, I needed to be in a place where I could do 100 kilometers in a dash. Like, the highest I've done is 65. Right. Okay. Now that was 1 off. So I wanted to see if I could do 100 kilometers at a go, because I've seen some people doing this. So for cycling, that was 1. But for fitness, I also had another goal, for example, similarly, but it was a lag measure. Now, what happened is, now, bro, I'll give you a biggest example. Now we are in the 3rd week. Yeah. Now, let's say 2 months back, where I did put some lead measures as well. But what happened was for some other goals. It was not for 2021. I mean 2020. But what happened is I did the lag, I did the lead. But where I was failing was I was not following up with my lead measures. Like I used to, I was
accountability.
Yeah, accountability. Yeah. I've tried accountability as well. But so this time what I did, I just introduced one more thing, which I was telling you. So what I did was I took all the lag measures, I defined the lead measures, and I started using, for example, the one app. I have 2-3 apps that I started using. So my whole concept is very simple. All the lead I've actually made like task lists on a daily basis. So every day I get up in the morning, I can see I have like 7 or 8 leads. These are tasks.
Lead measures. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. To simplify, these are just tasks. For example, the moment it hits 7, it shows a reminder to go for my workout. Now, what I've actually decided in myself is I only have to do one thing. I don't need to think. The moment I see the notification, I shut down and I just do this activity. Yeah. So, is there anything you want to add on this, Kareem?
Yeah. I mean, I think the what I like about it is that you just shut down everything and you just focus fully on those tasks, which when they do pop up in whatever like habit tracking app that you're using, you know, you tend, the hope is that you don't obviously procrastinate, because these are things that are within your control.
Exactly.
It's not like, you know, I'm giving myself a notification that, hey, make sure to make 10K today, you know, and it's like, that's great, that's super helpful, thanks for the useless reminder, you know, like actually, as opposed to something where it's like, you know, rather than, you know, whatever the amount is, let's say, okay, 10K a day or whatever it is, we have to make, you know, a reminder to make, for example, this many calls, for example, this day, or send this many emails, for example, a certain day, because when you see the task, it just makes it more inviting for you, especially if you're listening to this and you're already like, you know yourself, you know that you are a self-motivated person. We are Chef and I already know this about you. If you are listening to this and if you are interested in this content, and so, like, you know, when you do see something, you're gonna try your best to actually do it. And you know, Chef, what you're talking about, like the fact that it's focused on the lead measures, is one more way to make sure that it's something that we can actually act on.
Exactly.
Because if, you know, you wake up every month and you see, you know, 6 packs as a goal and you're not really making any progress around it, it definitely doesn't create the best feeling in the world. And I do want to go back to something earlier that you mentioned in the 5 Fs, which is the very first F, which is faith, right? So obviously, for faith, you know, it could obviously mean religion. For folks who may not necessarily follow a certain religion, like, they can really determine like what that means for them. I mean, it could be, you know, something around like mental health, for example, or it could be something around, you know, like meditation or whatever that means for you. So the beauty of it is that you get to really define those categories as you go by. Would you say the same, Shah?
Exactly. So this is one, it's like I think it's very good that Kareem brought it up. So this 5 Fs, this is not like a solid framework that everybody should have the same 5 Fs, okay? You can have like the 5 Bs or the 5 Cs. Okay, this is something that we came across, me and Kareem, and it was like something that really, you know, it clicked for us. So people, I also know a lot of friends, for example, who don't subscribe to this idea of organized religion, for example. Yeah. So like Kareem said, if you don't like the idea of faith or following religion, you can call it your 4 Fs. Or like I said, there are some people, like somebody I know, or there are some people I know who are already in the epitome of their fitness level. Yeah. So it depends, completely depends. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And just to add to that as well, like, it's the same thing for fitness. Like, fitness doesn't mean, okay, I gotta come up with like a crazy goal, like getting, you know, 6 packs or you know, or like cycling this many kilometers or whatever the case may be. Fitness for you, like, depending on what's important for you, could be, you know, just eating better, you know, that's also like part of fitness. Anyone who knows fitness knows that it's exercise, obviously, and food as well. It could be, you know, just taking more walks during your day. You know, same thing with finance as well. Like, maybe you're sorted for money, but you actually want to get better at managing your expenses better, you know. So it's not about making more money. A lot of people think finance equals making more money. You may argue maybe that's half of it, the other half, of course, is okay. Well, how do I just maybe reduce my my spending, on Amazon every month? This is definitely something I'm trying to get better at. And Chef, I know I want to talk about freedom as well, but I just want to see, is there anything you wanted to cover before we jump into the final F? Because I know people may have questions about
I think
that.
so just one thing that I wanted to add was, so I was just telling you guys how I took the lag, put lead, and I put it in a habit tracking app. And like Kareem was saying, which was a valid point, is okay, it could be one more other thing that you actually, it's an app or something like a notification, but just another thing, you got a notification and you'll just say, okay, I'll do it later. So what I did was I got an accountability partner for myself. Okay. Somebody who's on a very, very similar journey, and we have the same 5 Fs. Okay. And we are doing the exact same thing together. So every week, we will sit together and we review our apps, like the same app we are actually using. And we are going to, because both of us have defined, because we sat together, we did the leads and lags, we shared it with each other, and each of us entered our leads. So every week we have a set date, like for example, we meet physically and we review each other. Now, the only thing over here is you have to be honest. Now, end of the day, it's completely up to the person himself. So for me, it's like simplifying it, I added multiple layers to it. But one thing before we get into this freedom, the only thing I want to say, Kareem, this year, what I understood is, like I said, this year is the year of foundations of systems. For me, the biggest thing that I want to achieve is I want to get into the habit of doing things consistently. So,
habit of habits.
Literally getting into, because one thing I realized and I know for sure is, because 2 weeks, I'm just telling you, in this 2 weeks, at least in the past 8 days, I have been sleeping, for example, at 11 sharp, except for the weekend, which is Friday, which I let myself have one day. And I've been waking up exactly at like 5:45 without an alarm. Yeah.
Nice. For how long?
Bro, this has exactly been now 8 days. Okay. Since I started doing this.
Nice.
And I have like a couple of things, every of my lead measure is in there. And sometimes what has happened within this 8 to 9 days, it's too early, but maybe after 2 more weeks, before even my notification comes, I have this internal clock, which actually reminds me it's time for XYZ. Yeah, this is why, is why even today, before starting the podcast, like I showed you a screenshot of the app where Mindset Kitchen was there. Even though technical issues I had today, the camera was not there. But the reminder came up at the time. That is when I messaged you again, bro, let's just do this. Because for me, this works. And I know after 2 days, I have to actually meet this person, my accountability partner, in person. And, I have to give an explanation, why this was not done. So I think this is quite, from my side. So you want to add something to this, Kareem? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like one of the things I love about what you said is that you talked about 2 really important things. And I just want to make sure that we don't skip through it very quickly. The first one is this idea of apps, and actually using technology as your friend, not just writing something down for the first time, but actually having like a dynamic app. I'm not gonna burn it, so you can definitely talk about the app in a little bit. And the second part is the accountability partner, because I mean, I know you love habits and you love of course, like building plans and doing all this good stuff. But you said at the beginning of the episode that the whole issue was like, how do I continue to, like, okay, it's all laid out, all makes sense, but how do I actually continue to make sure that I'm accountable for that? And I think that you are definitely lucky that you managed to find someone who has the same pretty much like exactly the same goals, more or less, across these different Fs. And I think even if people are not like fully like 100% aligned, maybe if they're aligned on some things, this could be enough for them to have that with. And I like the fact that it's how people say with the accountability partner, and we talked about it before, this idea that like you should accept no excuses, like just document it if it was a yes or a no. And I love with you guys, like you're actually just going to be looking at each other's apps to see, has it been physically done, yes or no, and that's the end of that.
Yeah, that's it. Because many of this, things are not even the same, like even though the same Fs. But, Kareem, I think this last thing, we discussed about the 4 Fs, right? So, for faith, we discussed, for fitness, I discussed, for family, for example, even for finance, freedom, this is something which I personally found very interesting to be something that each person can, I think different people can actually interpret this differently. Yeah. Now, do you want to tell me what is freedom to you, or do you want me to go first? What do you think? What is freedom to you in this case?
Yeah, I think like where you and I like learned about this whole 5Fs concept was from Jamal King, who's, you guys definitely check him out. Like, he's an amazing entrepreneur and writer and all that. And he says like you want to work towards really optimizing your 5Fs more or less. And that fifth one, which is freedom, again, like, my interpretation of it is freedom of time, actually, and freedom to do the things that you want to do. Whenever you want to do it, and really like just continuing to invest in doing the things that you like overall, which may not necessarily fit into any of the previous categories, or maybe in a way it's all related. I mean, parts of it are related to the different other F's, but again, like freedom of time is a great example. Like when I think of freedom, that's really what I think of. For example, just to give like a quick shortcut example, if my faith is good, family is good, fitness is good, finance is good, let's say especially the finance one, maybe I can put myself in a position where I don't have to wake up and work 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 every day. Maybe I move to more of like an owner's mindset where me and the team, we've built something that kind of like works for us, and now we are an owner as opposed to like, let's say, an employee in a machine. You are owning this thing, which is a form of freedom, because if you want to if the weather is good, which is which is a little bit rare here, like sometimes when the sun is out, you really want to go and do something, but it's 2 p.m. and it's like the middle of the day, like no one really leaves at 2 p.m. Maybe at this stage, I can be in a position where, I feel like calling it a day today. I'm going to leave early at 2 p.m. because I've already taken care of all the fundamentals and I'm able to actually do something like that. But what about you, Chef? What's freedom to you?
I think it is exactly more or less the same thing. But what I did for my freedom is, under my freedom, see, everything, all the 4 things, it were more or less very personal things for me. Okay, like fitness is personal, but everything does impact my professional life as well. So what I did with freedom is, so for me, exactly like you said, what are the things that I can actually help me call it a day, or take a day off, or take a week off, take a month off? Like, for example, if I want to spend more time with my family, or if I want to spend more time, like me time, for example. So for me, I looked at my 3 or 4 or 5 years of my life in the past. I just look back. And I think one of the things that has allowed me is, for example, one of the main factors is the businesses that I've been running. Okay. So these businesses have allowed me to achieve a particular level of freedom. So what I did for my last F, which was freedom, was I actually put some business goals. For 2021, for example, business number 1, this is the lag measure that I need to achieve by end of 2021. Okay, business number 2, business number 1 is about scale. Okay, I need to scale particular things which are already, I would say it's already growing. I need to scale it. Okay, there are things that are working. Okay, business number 2 and 3 are in the initial stages. So there are different lags. Like, for example, for business number 1, sales is not something that I have to really put targets now. I'm thinking about growing the team. Okay, making them more independent. Okay, business number 2, on the other hand, I have like very serious targets. Because I know if I'm going to achieve this even in the first quarter of 2021, I will be like, this year I'm thinking, let's say, to travel, inshallah, twice or thrice, let's say 2 times with my family, 1 solo, yeah, let's say.
Nice.
But I know for a fact that if I meet my targets in the first or second quarter, I can actually even travel before I plan, because when business grows, it gives you a level of freedom again. So for me, freedom was very simple. Finance was completely different, as building some habits around finance. Like, for example, I made a lead measure that I have to save like something every month, like consistently, and I have to invest no matter what, no questions asked, something every month, which I was not very consistent. Yeah. So I kept the finance as something completely different, and in freedom, I added business. But I don't know, in 2022, when I make freedom is going to be something else. Maybe if I end up achieving all these goals, freedom might be something else for me. But this year, it's about business.
Yep. I love that. And just to add to what you're saying, Chef, like, I think that's the beauty of the 5Fs. Like, it's something that could definitely be dynamic with you the more the more, I mean, people are allowed to change their mind, and they're allowed to continue like evolving their goals. But I absolutely love that, and I love the fact that you're aware that even though, okay, at this stage, like, freedom for you really depends on these business opportunities. I love how, you know, it's not all the same kind of goal. Like, depending on the stage of maturity of each opportunity, you're setting different lag goals and different lead goals. So I absolutely love that. There's one more thing that I want to add in terms of freedom as well, which you reminded me of actually, which is, like, there's so many other things that I want to do, which may, you know, they may turn to businesses or they may not, but just the freedom to do that, you know, like, and to tell you openly, like, before I got into this whole like marketing and business stuff, like, originally, man, I'm actually a musician. Like, I actually love music. Music is my life. You know, you guys
go to check out Kareem solo
in the video. Oh man, that's embarrassing. That's old stuff, man.
Okay.
But basically, like, with you know, when I was like working in the corporate world, and then my current company, you know, like, which is even worse in terms of like taking more of your time, like this music thing has been slipping away and away and away, and I keep thinking, no, music, this is like playing. I don't have time to play. I need to work. And I've been saying this for years, but I realized maybe we should do an episode about this in the future.
Definitely, bro.
But like, really, when you force yourself to take a break, for me, I have to force myself to take a break and do something different. It really helps me to become a lot more productive. And for me, man, like, one of the things for freedom is, man, I would really love to finish like some form of a music album together with, you know, other musician friends that I've met over the years.
Amazing.
You know, like collaboration, stuff like that. And whether we sell it or not, or we perform it and we sell tickets, like, that would be awesome. But again, it's not the goal. The goal is to just do that.
Exactly.
I also want to learn, like, I'm learning so much stuff on my like entrepreneurial journey and whatever. And like, I'd love to do some courses around that. I think I told you about it before. Which may not necessarily be related to the business itself, but it's maybe what we actually do. I mean, what I've actually learned, or like the things that I've learned the hard way. So like this music thing, this courses thing, and then a third one, and I think you'll really like this, Chef, is I actually really wanna get a kayak, man, or like some type of a small boat where I could actually, like, you know, like cover, like, you know, do like trails and stuff like that with freaking kayak, you know, because right now I've relocated from Dublin to a seaside town an hour away, and you know, I can't get a boat, but I can at least get a kayak maybe, or at least rent one. And you know, all these things, you know, like, all these things are worth having lead and lag measures to start with. But yeah, like, would you add anything to any of the Fs that you're currently monitoring, or do you have them pretty set at this stage?
Yeah, I think just two things, you know, when you mentioned about the kayak, I mean, in my lead or lag measures at this time, I have three things which I have not added at all. One is friends, okay, hobbies, because one thing I realized in the past 2 years, no matter what situation I've been in, I think this is where, you know, we are a little bit different, Kareem. Yeah. I think you have to force yourself to take a break, or, you know, sometimes, you know, you really have to like push yourself. This is something that is very much hard coded in me. No matter how stressed I am, or no matter how hectic things are, every weekend you will find me, like, for example, somewhere. Like literally, like
just relaxing.
Yes, I nice. This does not come. See, I don't want to lie, like saying this is me. I planned this for my mental health or me time, but this is something which I see is actually helping me. Yeah, like this past 2 weeks, every Friday, because Friday or Saturday, this is something in the past 1 year, 2 year, everybody at my home knows. Like this particular day in the week, okay, this is sheyaf is not going to be there because. So I felt all these things were easy. So all I did was in my 2021 plan was I just took out the things which I felt I needed to do more. And I just, planned them, because when you said kayak, I was thinking of my SUV, like, you know, how I go off road and how do all these things. But
I remember that.
Yeah,
bro.
but I think overall, guys, you know, I think, is there anything more you want to add to this, Kareem, or I think we are right on time today?
Yeah, I agree. I think ultimately, like, people should really, hopefully take what you're saying, what I'm saying, and maybe
Yeah.
this could give them some ideas on what their 5Fs could look like.
Exactly. So, and I don't know if there is something called frequency illusion. Like, like if you, if you start thinking about something, you keep seeing this. But in the past 2-3 weeks, this is all I've been seeing. Like the productivity YouTubers that I follow, everybody's been telling like this year how it's different for them is this year more than goals, they're focusing on systems. They're focusing on building the habits. So, I think this is all what we would like to, tell the listeners or the viewers. If 2021, don't stress yourself. Like Kareem said, he was also saying, like, take it easy. Don't put so many goals, like so many hefty lag measures or goals. Instead, think of what is the bare minimum, or for some people, I have told them just focus on one thing, that you can actually focus or build on. Because what happens is, if you actually end up doing that one thing in the first 2 or 3 months itself, you will have enough willpower or confidence to actually, because see, this December, this Jan, New Year, everything is up here, nothing is stopping you from planning again in a week or a month's time. So
100%.
yeah, so we really hope you guys, have a very good year. And we are also planning for a super exciting year ahead with Mindset Kitchen. We have some very interesting topics that me and Kareem will be discussing. And that's all from our guys, from me and Kareem in today's episode. Let us know what you think. As always, please subscribe. And I would like to welcome all the new listeners from Serbia, who I've met during my travels. A lot of new people have been listening to our podcast, Kareem, by the way. All the way from the Balkans. Welcome. Yeah. And thank you guys. And as usual, subscribe, leave a comment, give us some ideas for the episodes that you actually want to see in this coming year. And that's all, guys. You guys take care, and we will see you in the next episode. Take care, and bye-bye.
See you guys.